Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. With Where's Walter Travel? We are celebrating 3 years in business. I can't believe it. Actually, yesterday was the 3rd year anniversary, but hey, it's Thursday night. We need to celebrate, right? So if you're new to the channel, I invite you to like, share, subscribe, do all those wonderful things that all of the social channels like for you to do. And welcome to the show. I'm going to spend about the next hour-ish answering your questions about all things cruising or travel. We are Where's Walter Travel. We book land, luxury, cruise, expedition, and our services are truly 100% free to you. And I do mean 100% free to you. We are closing in, I don't know, we're somewhere, say, between 1,500 and 2,000 trips booked now in the very first 3 years, which is absolutely insane. So, and I know that Rebecca sent me a list. I'm like, do we have a list of all the cruises that we've been on? So I believe Rebecca said, yep, there it is. So she did send me the list of cruises, so we can even talk through some of that. Oh my gosh, everybody's here. Bills fan, how you doing? Go Jays. I have no horse in this race, so go Jays. All right. Thanks, Warren. Debbie's here. Annette's here. Mindy's here. Zach's here. Mimi's here. Hi, guys. So good to see all y'all. Can you believe it? 3 years. 3 years, and it's all because of you. I mean, it was the social media audience that said, hey, I wish you were a travel agent. You know, you're giving us all this great advice. I wish I could, book through you guys. And we did. We did. So 3 years ago, yesterday, it was official. We launched. And like I said, we're somewhere between, I think it's like 1,500 to 2,000 trips booked already in the first 3 years, which is insane. Absolutely amazing. So we thank you all so much for your trust. Look, we know we're not perfect. We try our hardest every single day for you. And if something doesn't quite go right, we try to do our best to make it right. So welcome. Darla, how are you? Now, I did say on some of the posts, hey, Betty, how are you? So, cocktails are optional. This is the 3rd year anniversary, so I have to have a cocktail, because, hey, it's a 3rd year. And this is water. So this is a good thing to have, in the Florida days. But I'm going to make a cocktail tonight. Y'all can probably guess, if you know me at all, you can probably guess what kind of cocktail I'm going to make tonight. So, Regina, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Look, this wasn't my first choice. I was in television, film, and marketing for over 30 years. Had a great time. If any of you ever follow Alton Brown, the amazing chef who did Good Eats, I was on the Good Eats team for 4 seasons. So, in fact, you can see me in the show. If you're good, you keep an eye out. You're going to see me in the show from time to time. But I did the post-production supervision. I did animations. I did editing, did color grading, and I was in the show. In fact, I get to taunt Alton in a show. So if you see that episode, I actually get to taunt him. I won't tell you which episode. You'll have to figure it out. I looked a little different back then. I will say that. So, so old-fashioned. Well, not a smoky old-fashioned, no, but it will be an old-fashioned. So I've already put the bourbon in the glass just to do it, because I'm gonna do this the way that I was taught on the Sky Princess. I'm gonna be using Woodford Reserve tonight. This is what I have. And typically, I like to use something called Jefferson's. There's Jefferson's whiskey, and it's a small batch. Oh, my goodness. That's my absolute favorite right now. So if you're looking for a new whiskey, new bourbon, and you see Jefferson's small batch, what I like about it is like, $30, $35. It's not like a really expensive bottle of bourbon. It's a really, really nice episode. Yes. So, Mimi, you will find me taunting Alton. It's the cold open. I'll tell you that right off the bat. So it's a cold open. When you come out of commercial and they come right up on the beginning of the show, it's in that scene that I taunt him. And then you're going to see me as a former ruler in an animation. I'm the ruler in the animation. I get to lock up Alton in the animation. So, So go watch those episodes. I'm not going to tell you which ones. You'll just have to find them. There's only like 200 episodes, so you'll figure it out. But so I've got an ounce and a half of Woodford Reserve in here. Now, when I was on the Sky Princess, Elliot, one of my favorite bartenders in the world, Elliot, I've got some videos of him out there too. But he was from England, and he said, we don't use simple syrup. We don't do simple syrup. We don't do agave. We don't do any of that stuff. He said we just use sugar, and we muddle the sugar into the bourbon. I was like, what? And he said, well, I'm not allowed to do it because that's not how we make it here. Well, he mentioned it to his supervisor, who said, Elliot, you can go ahead and make it for him. Because I wanted him to make it the way they made it in England. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just have some, pure white sugar here. And what you do, you just take one of your little bar spoons here. You take, about a teaspoon-ish, like one of those spoons, right? And you literally, you just put the sugar right in the bourbon. So instead of doing simple syrup, you put the sugar right into the bourbon. You didn't know you were getting a cocktail class tonight, did you? Ooh, you getting a cocktail class? Now I got my little muddler right here. And what he said was, you just kind of take your time and you muddle the sugar into the bourbon instead of doing simple syrup. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then he made this drink for me, and it was so good. So, by the way, those of you tuning in going, I thought this was a travel show. This is a travel show. Go ahead and drop your questions in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. But we're also celebrating 3 years of my company, Where's Walter Travel? And I like to have old fashioned. So when I go on a ship, especially when I go on a ship for the first time, this is the drink I'm going to order. An old fashioned is, one of the oldest drinks out there, but it's a very simple drink to make, but it's really easy to screw up. I mean, it is really easy to screw up. So I'm just doing this, in a glass, and I'm just muddling up the sugar. I'm going to bring it down here so I can really see what I'm doing. But yeah, he said, just muddle the sugar. Take your time. He said, there's no race going on here. And then, Travel Plus Drink Show, right? Those are the best. Those are the best. Oh, Deb's already asked me a question. Great, Deb. When I am done making this drink, I will be glad. That's great. I'm glad you asked me a question about growing the business. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. All right, so I'm muddling. There we go. Okay, so I got it pretty much muddled in there. The sugar is basically gone. So this is 1.5 ounces of bourbon. And let's go ahead and drop that right into, the nice glass there, with all the ice in there, right? So we got that with the ice, so we can stir it all up. Now, what I really like to do, and I don't have any right now, but there is these bitters that you can buy, and there's one called Aztec chocolate. Oh my gosh, I love the Aztec chocolate. I just ran out of it. I just made a drink the other day, and I ran out of it. So I'm not going to do Aztec chocolate tonight. I'm actually going to do peach. I'm going to do peach. Instead of orange, orange is the traditional. I'm going to do peach bitters. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put 3 peach in there, right? And then I'm going to do 1 Angostura. That's what I'm going to do, just one. Boop. One of those. I come with sound effects too. Boop. See that? All right. And that's it. So I've got the bourbon in there. We put the sugar right in there, so no simple syrup. And then I've got 3 dashes of peach, and I got 1 dash of Angostura. How about that? I'm going to do this down here on the table, so it's not like right next to the microphone. All right. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. Yes, cocktails. Ooh, espresso martinis. Ooh. I'll tell you, who makes a really good espresso martini? And they are out of the box, but it's okay. Icon of the Seas and Star of the Seas, the Ryan Bean Bar up there in the Overlook. Oh my God, they make really, really good espresso martinis. It's a Kettle One. It's pre-made. It's a Kettle One, but really, really good. All right, so I basically just mixed that all up in here for a while. I was basically told by a bartender that you keep doing this until you can't, you just keep your hand here until you can't really hold it any longer. It's too cold. And that's what I was taught by a bartender on one of the ships. That's basically what I do. All right. Ooh. Got my little round cube because I like to make, the round cubes. It's kind of fun, right? All right. Any of you who have actually traveled with me, I really enjoy this. So I'm going to pour this low because if I try to pour this high, I'll dump it all over me. All right, there we go. There is our old fashioned. If you have a drink with you, look at that, huh? A nice, pretty little old fashioned. It's usually a little bit darker because I'll put the Aztec chocolate bitters in there, which will make it a little bit darker. But if you have a glass of water, if you have a glass of wine, whatever you have, cup of coffee, cup of tea, just raise it. I just want to say cheers to everybody out there. Thank you so much for your trust. For the past 3 years, had no idea this was going to grow into this, but we're so thankful for all of you for coming along on this journey. And here's to at least 3 more. Cheers, everybody, wherever you are in this amazing world. Yum. Ooh, that's good. Yum. You know, you got to play with these bitters. So I had a whole collection of these Fee Brothers bitters. There, I'll just hold it right there. And you know, I got celery, I got peach, I got raspberry, I got all these flavors, and it's really fun to play with these and kind of create like a different flavor profile for all of those. Oh, yay! Cheers, everybody! Cheers, 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 cheers! Deb, you're going on the Icon Saturday. Oh, yes, 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 yes. My favorite bar, excuse me, on the entire ship, the Rye and Bean. And man, when you walk into that overlook for the first time, you're just going to be like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this on a ship, because you have never seen anything like that on a ship. So Deb asked me, what's the most surprising thing about growing your business, and what has been the most challenging? The most challenging, so we've been cruising for about 20 years. And so Rebecca and I are very familiar with cruising, and she does most of the research. So she's always done a lot of the research when we traveled on our own. And, you know, we thought we knew a lot about the ships and cruising and all that. It turns out, I mean, we just scratched the surface of what we knew. There is so much training involved on the back end. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about what travel agents do. I mean, yes, we have some training on how to be a travel agent, but then every single cruise line, every single tour partner, everything, I mean, they have training programs, and some of these training programs, you know, like 10, 12, 15 hours of training. It's a lot of training that we have to go through. And I think the biggest challenge is you know, going through that training, obviously remembering a lot of that, but then of course the cruise lines keep changing things, and that is a bit of a challenge, to try to keep up with what they're doing and trying to keep it straight in our head, you know, what's what. I think the most surprising thing about growing this was definitely how fast it grew. I never anticipated. I was hoping that, you know, maybe after the first 3 years, we would be at about $3 million in travel sales. You know, maybe something like that. That would be a nice goal. As I talk to you today, we're actually approaching $8 million in travel sales in our first 3 years, which is insane. I mean, that's not normal for people just starting with a home-based travel business. And I think there's two big reasons why we've been able to achieve that. I mean, one, I brought all my marketing skills forward, and my project management skills. I think maybe that's another big surprise. Everything that I learned and everything that I did in television production, film production, and marketing translated 100% straight into travel. It's kind of crazy. You know, developing an original video project, developing an original television show, developing an episode, it's exactly like managing a trip. You know, you start with the pre-production, the concept, or now it's the meeting with the client, right? That initial meeting with the client. And then, you know, we went through this whole process where we would finally deliver it to the network, and that was the end of the video project. And with travel, is you coming home. That's the end of the trip. So that was a really interesting thing, that we were able to bring all of that forward. And I think the other reason why we've been so successful is because we try our darndest to take care of everything for the clients. We're not successful 100% of the time, but we really do try. And I think clients, after about the second year, you finally got comfortable with the fact that I keep saying, if you need anything, call me, reach out, email me, let's set up a meeting. And clients are now doing that more and more. It's like, okay, yeah, Walter said we can just reach out to him and he'll help us with anything. Yeah, we really will. So there's that one-on-one connection that we really, really enjoy doing this. So I hope I answered the question, but yeah, it's been pretty amazing. It's been pretty amazing to grow the business. And now, you know, I saw Mindy was on here. Corey's probably watching somewhere as well. But now we have Mindy and Corey joining the team, or they have joined the team. They're already selling. And so that's exciting. You know, I never even really thought I'd have associate agent, but now we have associate agent, and we're actually growing a team. And it's very, very exciting to be growing a team. So that's what I always loved in the creative field, with building teams. I had my own creative agency for almost 20 years, and then I built other creative teams over like 8 years or so. And it was just so exciting bringing people together to, look at, to me, it's like the sum of the parts is always greater, or how does that saying go? Whatever. But, just bringing people together so that everybody lifts each other and works together. So yeah, it's been exciting. It has been very, very exciting. So, oh my gosh, everybody's in. Hey, Douglas, how are you? Oh, so glad I was able to help you. But man, Douglas just went. So Douglas was an interesting situation with his cruise. I think he ended up paying like $200 more to get it repriced, but he got $1,000 in onboard credit. And that was the case. I think one of the really cool things about us, we are managing a lot of trips, and the cruise lines and the travel partners send us like 100, 150 emails every day. So trying to keep up with all of that is insane. And I love, like, Douglas and so many of you have reached out and said, hey, Walt, I saw this promo come through, or I saw this thing come through, and I think it's better for us. Can you check? And I just love that. It could just take me like 30 seconds, 60 seconds just to jump into the booking engine and go, yep, this is working in your favor. Or, nope, it doesn't work in your favor because. And so it's a real team sport. And you guys are really taken to it. And I just love it because it's so nice. Sometimes we catch things, but more often than not, it's you guys catching things and saying, hey, Walt, I think I saw this thing. Can you check it? Yes, I'll check it. And in Douglas' case, he ended up actually paying more for his cruise by $200, but he got $1,000 on board credit. So he came out ahead by $800. So that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Hey, Kenneth, how are you? Betty, your hard work and personal touch, getting to know your client. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And customer service. Oh, my goodness gracious. You guys are just being so incredibly kind. There's some friends sailing out tomorrow that we helped. Yes, that's so awesome. Kenneth, man, you guys have been such great supporters almost from the beginning. Actually, pretty much all you guys watching right now, y'all have been such great supporters, all this time. So I can't say thank you enough. Mike, congrats. Any advice for a Japan trip next November? Having a hard time choosing a cruise line, wanting to do 12 to 14 days. Good question. Cheers. Oh, that's a good one tonight, people. That's a really good one. A peach old fashioned. Who would have thought, right? All right. So 12 to 14 days. You want to go to Japan. I mean, I have one client's doing 38 days in Japan. They're actually doing Celebrity. I think it's 219 days back to back or something like that, 17, 18 days back to back. So you have a lot of options actually in Japan. It depends on how big of a ship you want to have. And it depends on where exactly, because some of them will include like South Korea coming up into Japan, and then some of them will just hopscotch around. Some of the cruise lines you might want to consider, and certainly, you can reach out. Like I said, our services are truly free, so we'd be more than happy to help you out. But Azamara, Silversea, Oceania, Celebrity actually has some really nice ones around, and Princess. They have, what is it, the Diamond Princess, I think it is. She's just a Japan-based ship. So, so Azamara, Oceania, Silversea, Celebrity, Princess, those are probably the five I would probably start with. You could do Viking. Now, Viking, if you live in the U.S., you're going to be paying like 18 months, maybe 24 months in advance. I'm not a big fan of Viking just because of that particular reason. I don't think it's fair to make you pay that much. Europeans don't have to do that. Europeans can pay like 90 days out. So Viking's probably going to be there. They're just not going to be my first choice because I don't like their payment policy. But those are some of the ones I would certainly be looking at to start with. I hope that's helpful. And again, if you'd like to reach out, everybody's watching me on YouTube right now anyway. There's links down in the description how to get in touch with me, or just go to where'swaltertravel.com, set up an appointment, contact us. Be happy to talk. I know, Betty, you've completed 5 trips with us and you got 3 more on the books. I know, it's so exciting. Thank you so much. Oh, Kenneth, you are hilarious. They chose me because you loved my I Pooted shirt. Cheers to you, my friend. That's one of my favorite shirts. If you don't know what Kenneth is talking about, I have a red shirt that says I Pooted on the front of it, and it is from the show Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. There's a little character named Cheese. It's the last line in the show, in the episode. He's doing this great emotional hug with another character, and the last thing he says is, I pooted, and the show goes to black. They made billboards of that in Atlanta. And my wife, Rebecca, was working at CNN at the time, and she got it for me at the Turner store. So that's really awesome. Carl, oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad. I tell you what, we have planned so many trips to Alaska. Alaska's like become, I think, our #1 destination that we've been booking for. I've lost track of how many things we booked there. So, Carl, I'm so glad you found us too. Right, that's right, Betty. You're going to Japan. You're on Celebrity going to Japan. Celebrity is a very good cruise line up in Japan. Certainly, Princess Silversea, Azamara. One of the things about Azamara, so Azamara has some of the smallest ships out there. And everybody talks about their shower. The shower is really small. There's no way around it. The shower, you're kind of like leaning into the wall to take a shower. There's no way around that. But they have some of the best itineraries in the business. They have some of the longest port stays. They have a lot of overnight stays. So if you're just going on pure itinerary, a lot of times, man, Azamara will really surprise you with some really awesome itineraries pretty much anywhere in the world. They only got 4 ships right now, but they do a masterful job of moving them all over the world. So they're always a great cruise line to look at. So, Becky, I saved you $900 on your Alaska cruise. Yay! Yay! That's awesome. That's so awesome. Look at this. Oh, that's right, Eric. You're heading to Hawaii and Tokyo on the Sapphire Princess November next year. So those are some big cruises. For those of you looking for Japan and you would like to take the ship across, this is one way you can do it. What Eric is doing, there's a Hawaii and then it goes on over to Tokyo, but there's also Alaska to Japan. When the ships are done with the Alaska season and now they're going to go over to Asia, we actually just sent, in fact, Gary Bembridge was on the same ship with our client. They went from either Vancouver or Seattle on over to Japan. And that was kind of cool. So that's another thing you can do too, that like if you just want to fly one way, the long flight, you could take the ship over to Asia if you've got the time, if you've got the time. And that's always really, really, really cool. So that's right, Regina, you're going to be on the Virgin Voyages, that's right, out of Alaska. I think Carl is on a Princess ship. We do still lean very heavily into Princess up in Alaska. They still have some of the best itineraries up there along with Holland America. So have we been to Antarctica yet? That is on the list. We are sending clients. We're sending clients to Antarctica 2 ways. There's 2 different ways that you can go to Antarctica. Actually, 3 different ways you can go to Antarctica. One, you can take a expedition ship from, Ecuador, I think it is, and then you come down and you go through the Drake Passage, with the infamous Drake Passage, that if you catch it right, it's going to be the smoothest ride in the world. If you catch it wrong, it's going to be a washing machine, just tossing you all over the place. And then you get to do the Zodiacs and you ride up, right? You actually get to go land and maybe go hang with the penguins and all of that stuff. Then Silversea has come up with a fly to Antarctica where you don't actually go through the Drake Passage. The ship has already gone through the Drake Passage and you fly to meet the ship. It's still an expedition ship, so you can go visit the shore, right? You get those chances to go do the Zodiac and whatnot. Then there's what I call the drive-by. And like Holland America has one, and I think a couple of the other mainstream cruise lines have them too, where you're on a regular mainstream cruise ship. You're going to see Antarctica. You're going to drive by and look at everything, but you're not going to stop, and you don't get any of those Zodiac, go Zodiac landings up there. So that's kind of like a drive-by. So those are the ways to see Antarctica. The ones that we have booked, we booked Silversea. We have almost booked, we priced out Viking. And then we did that drive-by. We have a drive-by booked with Holland America. I mean, I call it a drive-by, and it's just because, you're not actually going to land. You're not going to stop in Antarctica. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody wants to do the Zodiac. Not everybody wants to go zipping up onto the ice and try to climb up on the ice. That's perfectly fine. Another good cruise line down there would be Hurtigruten. Hurtigruten Expeditions would be another fantastic one down there. And, it just depends on when you want to go, how you want to go. It is one of those things that you probably want to book out in advance because, they are a little bit more expensive. That's going to be a bucket list thing. That's going to be a little bit more expensive. But we've done quite a bit of research on Antarctica and the various cruise lines and what they offer. So if that's something you really want to talk about, Deb, go ahead and schedule a time. Let's hop back on a call and talk about what your specifics are, what your comfort level is. You got to have a comfort level to go through the Drake Passage, because that, I'm sure you all have seen the videos, where it literally looks like a washing machine. The ship is just going back and forth and the water's just tossing everywhere. And, and once you get into it, man, you got to go through it. If you're going to get to the Drake Pass, if you're going to get to Antarctica, you got to go through it. There's no way to get around it. So, yeah. So we can certainly talk about that. That's right, Jen. Sapphire Princess was in Portland. She just got a dry dock. Yeah. In Portland, and I think they added 2 restaurants or something to the ship while she was there. So Eric, you said you're going on to Sapphire. Sapphire, that has a soft place in my heart because that was our Alaska ship. I love that ship. We sent a lot of clients on the Sapphire up in Alaska, and every one of them has come back going, I love that ship. It's a beautiful ship. So yeah, they're just awesome. That's right. Zach is going to Japan on the Sapphire Princess next November. That's right. You guys are heading over there. That's going to be a grand adventure. So, Rick, you got your welcome pack from Oceania. So excited. 36 days away. Thanks to me. Thank you for the congratulations. That is one of the one of the fun things about the luxury line, right? They send you those welcome packages. Yeah, it'd be nice if everybody did that. But yeah, you get that book, you get a really nice brochure book, all the slick pictures, start looking at your ship, getting all excited, get the luggage tags in there. That is really cool, right? And I'm glad they sent them to you, because sometimes they send them to me and I'm like, why are you sending this to me? I don't need it. So, yeah. All right. So have I missed anything else here? I just want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions. All right. But if you guys got any other questions, and of course, if you have a drink, this is of course an old fashioned. Those of you who follow, this is my litmus test for every single cruise ship. This is what I make the most at home. I also make an Oaxaca old fashioned, which I love. That's tequila and mezcal, basically in place of bourbon. Really good. Yum, 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 yum. So Rebecca did send me the list of all the ships that we've been on. And man, let's see, what have we been on? We've been on, so we started in September of 2026. And that was on the Caribbean Princess. I mean, she's always going to have a soft spot in my heart. The Caribbean Princess. That was September of 26. So let's see. So then we went to Alaska on the Sapphire Princess. We did a partial Panama Canal transit on the Island Princess. So, we started out on Princess because Rebecca loves the Love Boat. She just loved the Love Boat. I love the Love Boat too. It's so much fun. One of my favorite things about going on a Princess ship is you can watch the Love Boat episodes. They have most of them on the ship. So it's so much fun. So our first 3 were actually all Princess. Then we did Holland America, New Amsterdam. We did a Caribbean cruise, did the Freedom of the Seas, Celebrity Silhouette. We did a lot of Caribbean, the Disney Fantasy. We've been on her. Well, Zach, I don't have the list on the screen. I just have it in an email. Rebecca just sent it to me, or I would have done that. Right, Jen, the Panama Canal transit was the best, and she's saying that because that's where we met. That's where we met on the ship. It is one of my favorite things about cruising is meeting people. We're still friends with Mitch and Lori. We met Mitch and Lori on the ship too. Mitch was like my brother from another mother, like literally instantly. The moment we met, we just connected and we were like brothers right from that point, and we're still brothers to this day. I love Mitch so much. It's just so cool having such good friends there. So I did the Disney Fantasy, Celebrity Reflection, we did Celebrity Equinox. So Celebrity Equinox, I believe that was the Hurricane Irma cruise. So we talk about storms and hurricanes and all of that. And on that particular cruise, that was like an 11-night cruise. And we only missed 2 ports. But what they ended up doing was the ship, and we were supposed to go to St. Thomas, and had we gone to St. Thomas, we actually would have been there the same day that the hurricane hit. So of course we're not going to go there. So we ran straight south to Curacao. We basically got under the hurricane, and then we essentially followed the hurricane back to Miami. Essentially what we did. And then I can't remember the name of the other one, but we had another hurricane behind us. So we were like between two hurricanes coming in. We had the smoothest weather, the roughest weather I've ever been in, which like 2 weeks ago when we were on the Brilliant Lady going through the nor'easter, which there is a 9-hour video you can watch on YouTube. It's crazy. Some people said, how did you get the door open? They had them locked. It's like the doors weren't locked. It was the wind blowing. You just had to push really, 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 really hard to get the balcony open. So I pushed the door open. I got the camera mounted on the balcony. I hooked up a brick to it so it would run. I had no idea it was 9 hours long until I got home. But it is pretty cool. You see, in the beginning, it's rough and all that, and then the weather really moves in, and then the weather kind of clears up. The weather moves in, and then it goes sunny. Excuse me. Got a little tickle going on. I probably should have made some tea as well. But hey, Bill, how are you? Good to see you. Bill, this is like so cool. I used to listen to Bill all the time on the radio up in Atlanta. Now he's one of my clients. This is so awesome. I love this. I love what I'm doing. I just love what I'm doing. I hope you guys had a great time. You were just on MSC, I believe, in the Yacht Club. Oh, my goodness. I am coughing up a storm now. All this talking, and I probably should have some honey. No, I should have more bourbon. Maybe that'll help. Probably not, but that's okay. Okay, so Celebrity Friction, Celebrity Equinox, Norwegian Getaway, the Mariner of the Seas. If you're just tuning in, I'm reading off a lot of the ships that we've been on. Crown Princess, Celebrity Equinox again, Norwegian Escape, the Carnival Mardi Gras, the Scarlet Lady, Symphony of the Sea, Sky Princess, Scarlet Lady again, MSC Seaside, the Valiant Lady, MSC Seashore, the Oceana Serena, Scarlet Lady again. I know, Scarlet Lady 3 times. The Margaritaville Islander preview. We were actually invited on the ship, and then the Margaritaville Islander inaugural cruise, which we booked. The Sun Princess, Explorer 2. Oh, God. Explorer 2. Oh, my God. What a ship. Oh, my God. What a ship. I just... to this day, I still regret walking off that ship. I should have just hidden somewhere on that ship. That ship was so amazing. So amazing. Azamara Journey. Oh, my God. We got to talk about Azamara. That was so much fun. Valiant Lady. The Islander again. The Islander again. I've been on the Islander 4 times, too. How about that? Guess where I'm going next month? The Islander. It'll be 5 times. Norwegian Aqua. The Oceana Riviera. The Star of the Seas. Brilliant Lady. Icon of the Seas, and Resilient Lady. That's what we've been on so far. We've been on quite a few ships. So far. We got our very first Cunard is coming up in December. In fact, we'd love to have you guys come join us. Do you guys have any plans for Christmas? If you don't have any plans for Christmas and you want to come hang with us, wait, where's the graphic? Where did it go? There it is. You want to come hang with us for Christmas? Look at that. You can come hang with us. We can celebrate together, 3 years together. But this is kind of a neat one. So I'm going to be a host. I'm going to be a host, a distinctive voyage host, basically a concierge. And I think there's 58 people in this group. And it's kind of interesting because I'm not the travel agent. I think I'm a travel agent. I think I have 1 or 2 bookings in here. But these are all travel agents who are part of, or these people were all booked by travel agents who are part of Travel Leaders Network. And Travel Leaders Network has this thing called Distinctive Voyages, where you have a cocktail reception. You get 1 free shore excursion. In this case, it's going to be in St. Lucia. And you get the services of a Distinctive Voyages host throughout the cruise, which is basically your concierge throughout the cruise. That's going to be me. And I'm going out next week to finally get fitted for a tuxedo. Going to get a tuxedo for this cruise. Cunard has relaxed their dress code. You don't need a tuxedo. You don't necessarily even need a jacket anymore. But as my good friend Gary Bembridge said, if you're going on Cunard, lean into it. Lean into the dress code, because if you do, you're really going to have a good time, because that's what the ship's all about. It's an elegant ship. It's elegant cruising. Not like I'm going to do this, ever again on any other cruise line. But on Cunard, it's kind of like, I think I'm going to get a tuxedo. I'm going to have all Christmas ties. I'm going to have New Year's ties. I'm not going to have a black tie because that would just be boring. But I'm going to go for that tuxedo. So if you would like to see me in a tuxedo in the flesh, then I would encourage you to come on the Cunard Queen Elizabeth with us. Eric, you said you have a friend considering coming in February to Hawaii. Are there any group cabins left? I don't, they just came out with the whole new pricing structure, and now everything is like non-refundable deposits and things like that. I think the group, oh wait, we're past final payment. Yeah. We're right up, or we're right up against or just past final payment. I think the cabins have already been recalled. But Eric, if they want to reach out to me, I can take a look and see what's available. Doesn't mean that the pricing, and the thing is, with that particular cruise, I don't think I ever booked anybody at the group rate. Think about Princess. It's so weird. The group rate is usually worse than whatever promo is going on. So I'm all of a sudden, everybody on that group was actually booked with whatever the latest promos were. So certainly have your friend reach out. I can just take a look. I know, excuse me, there's still room on the ship for sure. So, just have them reach out. I'll take a look and see what's on the ship, and we will do what we can. So, once I get the tux, I bet you do it again. I probably will, just because I'll have it. That'd be kind of fun, like Legend of the Seas show up in a tux. Have I ever heard of Amadeus River Cruise? Your neighbor said they were great, and all my YouTube searches, I don't recall seeing them. I've heard the name. Don't know anything about Amadeus, but I have heard the name. Well, I know there's a ship called Amadeus. Is it Riverside? I have, just so you guys know, next Thursday night, for the next 2 Thursdays in a row, we will have guests. Next Thursday night, we're going to have Riverside River Cruises. These are the people who bought the Crystal ships. There used to be Crystal River Cruises, and they had some of the most beautiful ships on the water. Riverside bought them. I thought they had a ship named Amadeus. There's Debussy for sure, but I don't know. But I've heard Amadeus on the river cruise. I just don't know if I've heard of it as a cruise line or a cruise ship. That I would have to take a look. The ones that we sell the most are Ama, Avalon, and Uniworld. Those are the 3 that we sell the most. And our Christmas cruise, which I'll go ahead and what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. All right. Sorry. No, it's not the drink. This is the only one. Look, I've barely had any so far. It's not the drink. Cheers. Where is that river cruise? Here it is. So we're going out on Avalon. Oh, and I still haven't fixed that graphic. The graphic is actually incorrect. The $400 per person savings is still going. And actually, the $400 per person saving goes until we run out of room, until the cabins are sold. So we have 1/3 of the ship already for this group. I think we have 56 people now booked on this group cruise. And we chose Avalon Waterways for this particular cruise because it's going to be December 7th through the 14th. Now, first of all, that date was chosen so that everybody can be home for Thanksgiving. You can be home for Christmas. So, you're going to be home for both holidays. You can do some Christmas shopping, obviously. But the reason why we chose Avalon Waterways in particular, because they have what they call the Panorama Suite. Most of the rooms on the ship are the Panorama Suite. This is floor-to-ceiling glass, about 14-foot wide, like the whole wall. It's just a glass wall looking out. And your bed faces the glass wall. So you can just lay in bed and look out. Now, if you want to open it up, it is a French balcony. You can slide 2 of the panels open, and you've got, 2/3 of it is now open to the outside. But we just figured out who's going to step outside on a balcony in December in Europe. But you can just sit there and look out your window all day long. So that's why we chose that particular ship. And so I have not heard of Amadeus River Cruises, but I swear I've heard of an Amadeus ship. So something to do with Amadeus and rivers. Sorry, this was probably a bad idea, but apparently starting Where's Walter Travel was a good idea, though. Regina, friends going out on the Valiant Lady tomorrow. Do I think the storm will alter the voyage? Yes, it already did. The Dominican Days trip had been altered. They're not going to Puerto Plata. They are going to Cozumel. Yeah, we sent the notices out to everybody today. So they dropped Puerto Plata and they're going to Cozumel instead. So yeah, yeah, the Amadeus may be the ship name. I want to say it might be a Riverside River cruise, or it could even be Riviera. So yeah, and I said, so I got guests coming up the next couple of weeks. So next week, next Thursday night at 8 o'clock, we're going to have Riverside River Cruises. They are an amazing luxury river cruise brand that I am dying to get on their ship because they do have the old crystal ship. And then the week after that, we're going to have Celestial Cruises. This is a family-owned cruise line in Greece. And we are going to be setting up a group on Celestial at some point in Greece. When we go to Greece, I'm all but certain we're going to go on Celestial when we go to Greece. And we may even tie in a land tour with our friends from Rero as well, but you never know. But Celestial will be on in 2 weeks. And then the week after that, I'm going to be live on the Margaritaville Islander with Margaritaville at Sea. We're going to be talking about the new Beachcomber. I believe they said by the end of this month, they're going to release a lot more information about the Beachcomber. Went to lunch with them a couple days ago. They told me a lot about that ship. I'm very excited about this ship. There's going to be a lot of new things coming. And they also told me some other things that they're doing that I absolutely cannot talk about yet. They will be releasing that information, I believe, at the end of the month. But they got some really cool things coming along. Thanks, Rick. So they are a cruise line. Yeah, I couldn't remember if they're a cruise line or ship, what they were. But yeah, they're a European. They're a European cruise line out there. So, Betty, I am very much looking forward to this one as well. I can't tell you how excited I am for this one. I mean, we had Avalon Waterways on the show recently with Tina. We're trying to get on. Rebecca and I will probably be on a river cruise next year in 26. We don't know which one yet. KHM Travel Group, who is our amazing host, they have these things called top producer trips, and very often there's a river cruise as part of that. So we'll probably go on one of those, or we just may. Avalon really wants to get us on one. Ama really wants to get us on one, or Riverside really wants to get us on one. And Riviera. Riviera is another great cruise line too over there. So my guess is that at some point in 26, we will be flying over to Europe to get on a river cruise finally. Or actually, what I'm hoping we're going to do is that at least in one direction, we're going to do the Cunard Queen Mary too, because that would be awesomeness. So Betty, Greece would be great, right? Right? Yes, Greece is going to be great. You know, one of the things that we've done, we kind of overbooked ourselves this year, so we've kind of backed off a little bit for 26. Like we're trying not to overload. In 27, we do actually have. I don't have a graphic for you yet. We do actually have another group cruise booking in February of 27. I think it's February 27. Maybe it's March, but it is the Holland America New Stotendam, I think, New Stotendam or the Rotterdam. But it's another distinctive voyage that we're booking right now for 27. It's a 12-day. It's on our website. So if you go to our website, you'll see it. It's like the last group cruise there. But it's a Holland America group cruise, 12 days in the Southern Caribbean. It'll be really, really nice. So, by the way, I don't know how many of you have noticed, but the graphic is slightly different there next to me. There's a new logo underneath Sean and Steph. I know it's hard to see. I'll probably end up blowing them all up, but we're now travel partners with the Cruise Monkeys, Gavin and Luke over in England. Just lovely people. We're going to be doing a live stream on a Saturday, actually coming up soon, I think in November. We're going to be doing a live stream together on a Saturday, but they're absolutely lovely people. So they have a travel agency partner over in Europe, but they've been starting to get some folks from North America, sending inquiries about, booking cruises. And that can be because of cross-border rules. That company can't book people who live in North America. So we're their North American partner. So it's actually kind of cool. So yeah, they reached out to us because they were trying to do a group cruise, had some people from the Americas reaching out. They didn't really know what to do. And then they're like, oh yeah, let's call Walter. So they did. So it's actually kind of cool. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I got to play with that. I just did that real quick before we started, but very proud of our partnership with obviously Stephanie Mullen. Stephanie's coming with me on the Margaritaville Islander next month. So more Labubu content coming out. I'm going to continue my education with Labubu. Stephanie, if you're watching this, you might need an intervention by now, but that's okay. That's okay. They make you happy. They make you very happy. But let me just make sure she didn't. Okay. By the way, has anybody who's watching this, have you been to the Magic Kingdom lately to see that Starlight Parade and see Stephanie's work? Oh my gosh! If you are coming to Disney World, you have to go see the Starlight Parade at the Magic Kingdom. Now we're in the holiday season, so it's really not running that much. You know, they're doing all the holiday shows and all of that. But if you get a chance to see the Starlight Parade, Stephanie did the animation of the face on the train, Whimsy the train that comes out at the very end of the parade. Oh my God, he's so cute. He's the cutest thing in the whole parade. I'm not saying that because I'm biased, but I'm a little biased. Yeah, I'm a little biased. So it is absolutely fabulous. And, you know, we just, I showed you a couple of things already. Why don't I kind of talk through a few things that are going to be happening in terms of group cruises if you'd like to come cruise with us. You know, we just got done with that amazing Brilliant Lady cruise. I got to say, she handled brilliantly in that storm. That could have been so much worse. The captain did a great job. He took us as far around the storm as he could, that big nor'easter, but we still got hammered by waves, and he did a masterful job. The ship did a beautiful job. I'm sure she had the stabilizers out the whole time. But that was a relatively smooth ride considering what we were going through. Like, we were walking up and downhill, you know, uphill, downhill, but we weren't like, whoa. It's like you could actually walk. You had to walk a little slowly, but you weren't getting tossed all around. I do know that unfortunately, a few people did get injured during that. You know, I mean, some people don't have the best balance in the world. So I do know a couple people got injured, but most of all, you know, most everybody came through well. Thank you, Alex. Hey, and I hope you're having a good time on the ship. Did you go to Teppanyaki tonight? I hope you had a good time. Alex is headed from New York down to New Orleans on a Norwegian ship. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, Mimi, the Brilliant Lady handled it brilliantly. Well, and it was kind of funny, you know, those of you, actually the most amazing thing was that the Wi-Fi never went out. Now, every time I'm on a ship and there's bad weather, there's clouds, there's rain, the Wi-Fi always goes out because, you know, the rain messes with the signal on the satellite dishes. The Wi-Fi never went out. Not only did the Wi-Fi not go out, we did an hour and a half of live streaming during the nor'easter. We stayed on. I watched some of it afterward. I mean, the picture kind of broke up a bit, but we stayed live for an hour and a half through the middle of a nor'easter. That was insane. So you saw part of a Starlight Parade a couple months ago. Very cool. Oh, you had to leave for a lightning lane before the end. Oh, make sure you go back and at least see the end of it. Oh, I hope you get to see it again. Good question. Have I tried the PB&J Old Fashioned in the Mason jar on Royal? I have not. I've tried it on another ship. Did not care for it whatsoever. Did not care for the peanut butter whiskey at all. Just not my thing. So the best flavored Old Fashioned that I have had is the one that used to be in the test kitchen. No more. It was the Nutty Old Fashioned. And it wasn't made with peanut butter, but it did have a nuttiness to it. It's almost like more like a walnut almond. There was a nice nuttiness to it. It might have been like some amaretto or something that was in it. That I like. But the PB&J, no, that was just not my thing. Yeah, I have heard other people rave about it, but not my thing. On Royal Caribbean, as we talked about earlier, if you're on the Icon class, you go up to the Overlook, which is the big glass dome in the front of the ship. You go on the starboard side of the ship, and you go to the Rye and Bean bar, and you get an espresso martini. That's one of the best drinks I've ever had on a Royal Caribbean ship. That's really good. And to me, that's the best bar on the whole ship. That one right there. They really do a nice job. They don't rush through anything, take their time. And the funny thing is that espresso martini is from a box. It's a Kettle One box that they just pull. So it's really, really good. Yeah. Oh, yes, teppanyaki in April. I was just checking the freestyle, see what's going on. Entertainment is good on the ship. Good deal. Yes, so we are a whole bunch of us, and I have not shown you that one yet. A whole bunch of us are getting together in April. Where is it? Right here with the lovely Tony and Jenny B. Just talking to Jenny today. Actually, we're doing some wrap-up stuff on their big Enchanted Princess that they just did. But we have around 200 people on this one. This is going to be a lot of fun because we have 3 sea days on this one. This is April 16th through the 23rd, the Norwegian Jewel. The reason why we're even doing this one, because this is the first cruise out of Philadelphia in something like 20 years, 15, 20 years. And I mean, we're just going down to Bermuda. Then we're going to go to Charleston. So the itinerary is somewhat of a basic itinerary, but it's the first one out of Philadelphia. We're going under 2 bridges. We're going to be with Tony and Jenny B. We got 3 sea days. 2 of those sea days will have events for the entire group. One of those sea days will have an event for the Patreon members. And every night we're going to try it. We're going to see, Norwegian's not great about dining room stuff, but we're going to see if we can't reserve a spot in the dining room every single night for the whole group to get together. Because I guess that went really well on the Enchanted Princess. Norwegian's a bit funny about that. We're going to try. So we'll see what we can do. But you get to hang out with Tony and Jenny B for 7 days on the Norwegian Jewel. There's going to be juggling involved, I'm sure. There will be dancing involved, I'm sure. And just a lot of fun. These are like 2 of the loveliest people you will ever meet. Just anywhere. Forget cruising, just anywhere. They are just 2 incredibly lovely people. I encourage you to come along. We still have space available on the ship. The group rates are gone, but we can book you. We can book you at the current prevailing rate, and you can come join us. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, what else we got? This is going to be a good one. I was just talking today to a land tour partner. We may put together like a 5-day land tour before this cruise, starting in Rome and ending up in Ravenna. We might. I was talking to one of my partners about that today. They're going to see what they can do, but this is the Celebrity Constellation. This is going to be an amazing cruise. 10 nights around Italy. We're going to start in Ravenna. Now, Ravenna is about 3.5 hours away from Venice. You just need to know that. It's not like you can just hop in a car and just get right to the port. It's 3.5 hours away. We're going to start in Ravenna. We go to Split and Dubrovnik in Croatia. We go to Kotor. We go to Messina. We go to Salerno. We go to Portofino. We go to La Spezia. We go to Civitavecchia. This is an amazing 10-night cruise around Italy, and we're on the Celebrity Constellation, plus or minus 2,000 people. Small ship. Small ship. Small ships are what you want in the Mediterranean. You do not want these big mega ships in the Mediterranean. You want smaller ships in the Mediterranean. 3,000 or smaller really is a sweet spot. Get down around 1,500. Ooh, you're really in a sweet spot down there. So our group rates, we only have a couple. I want to say we have three or 5 cabins left. But our group rates with the Wi-Fi, with the drink package, the basic Wi-Fi, the basic drink package is less than Celebrity's base rate right now. So if you want to come, we only have a couple left. We've got 12 couples now, or 12 staterooms sold on this one, and I think I have 16 total. So I guess 4, maybe I have 4 cabins left. At that rate, this is going to be an amazing cruise. And now we're thinking about putting together this little land tour, but in front of it, we're going to work together for the next couple of weeks, see if we can make something happen. Then, if you have the time and the wherewithal, you can stay on the ship. Instead of getting off the ship on November 2nd, you can stay on the ship, and she's going to do a 15-day crossing to San Juan. Rebecca and I are staying on the ship. I think there's 2 other couples that will be staying on the ship, so we're going to be on the ship for 25 days. It's going to be an amazing cruise. And this way, we just have to fly to Italy, and then we'll ride back to San Juan, and then, we'll go. Before that, in February, Eric was just talking about this a few minutes ago, we're going to Hawaii. You want to go to Hawaii with us? Oh my gosh, this is going to be so amazing. This is going to be February 4th through the 20th, like this coming February 4th through the 20th. There are 10 sea days with this one. So we start in Los Angeles. We do 5 sea days. We go around the Hawaiian Islands. We come back 5 days, stop in Ensenada. We're going to stay on the ship. You do you. We're going to stay on the ship. We have no need to go into Ensenada. So let's call it 6 sea days on the way back. And then we go to Los Angeles. So this is going to be a beautiful cruise. Now, if you want to, you could go to Disneyland. Before that, Disneyland is having their 70th anniversary right now. I've never been to Disneyland. We're going to Disneyland. Oh my God, I'm so excited. We're going to stay in Pixar Place. We're going to be there, I think, for 4 nights, 4 days, something like that. I'm so excited. I've never been there, ever. Everybody's like, oh, it's so small. You're not going to like it after Walt Disney World. Are you kidding me? I'm excited that it's going to be really small. It's going to be easy to get around. And they have like 2 or 3 different nighttime parades going on. They got the new World of Color thing going on. It's their 70th anniversary. I'm going to have to take a piece of luggage just for all the crap I'm going to buy in Disneyland. It's going to be fun. But, you don't have to go to Disneyland. We do have multiple guests who are staying in the Queen Mary Hotel, the original cruise ship, because it's haunted. I'm going to see if any of them get haunted. So you could do that too. You could stay in a haunted hotel. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, so those are some of the cruises that we have going on. And the big one is this Christmas time in the Rhine. It should be absolutely spectacular. Should be absolutely spectacular. So, let me see what else we got in here. Oh, wow. Well, you got a lot of stuff going on. Let me put this back up. Rick, you are absolutely right. On the Norwegian Aqua, there is a whiskey bar. One bartender in particular, she was a woman. I don't know her name, but I did take a picture of her badge. She made a great old-fashioned. She made the old-fashioned with maple syrup. And I got that in Canada too, where they made it with maple syrup. That was very good. I haven't tried to make one here, but I'm going to have to do it. But you are absolutely correct. That was fabulous on there. Deb says, if you're in Philly before the cruise and you need a dinner recommendation, you highly recommend Tallulah's Garden. Thank you. Yes. So the Philadelphia cruise starts on a Thursday. We're flying up on Monday. A whole bunch of us are flying up on Monday. We're going to do a food tour on Tuesday. We're going to do a history tour on Wednesday. Both of those are only a half a day, so we're going to have time to go around. And absolutely, we'll be looking for dinner recommendations. So thank you for that. I love that. I absolutely love that. So, Betty, you would be interested in a 5-day land tour like Venice for like 3 days. So it's actually not going to be that. It's actually going to be Rome. We're going to start in Rome only because we're not staying on the ship at the end. Like we can't do Rome at the end because we'll be taking off. So this particular land tour, if we do it, will probably be something like 2 or 3 nights in Rome, 2 nights in Venice, and then 1 night in Ravenna, probably, if we do it. We're just in the beginning stages of talking about it right now. But for post in Rome, I mean, we could take a look and see if these guys have anything available at that time. But yeah, it's just a conversation that we're having with these guys right now, because we can put together something ourselves, but it might be kind of nice if we can put together some sort of like little tour. Thinking about maybe flying in on the 17th. The cruise starts on the 23rd of October. Flying in on 17th, spend a couple of nights in Rome, transfer up to Venice, spend a couple of days in Venice. For those of you who are taking a cruise out of Ravenna, I mean, I highly recommend that you go to Ravenna the night before the cruise, because it is 3.5 hours away. And for me, it's just easier to be at the port. So like if you want to spend time in Venice, get to Venice like 3 days before the cruise. Spend 2 days in Venice, and then get over to Ravenna that last night, so that 3.5 hour ride is out of the way. You don't have to take that 3.5 hour ride and then get onto the ship. It's nice to get that 3.5 hour ride, sleep in the next day, and then just boop, go on over to the cruise. See, more sound effects. Boop, head on over to the cruise. Look at that. We've gone through the whole show. I barely drank this thing. I've been good tonight. Yum. So, oh my God, have I been talking for almost an hour? Holy crap. Wow, folks, that was quick. I didn't even know we were going to do the show until about 4 or 5 hours ago. And I'm like, you know what? It's our 3rd anniversary, darn it. We need to come on the air. Rebecca is out and about with her mom today. Her mom's here in town, which is great. And I was like, I'm going to come on. So I'm really glad that y'all came out to join me tonight. So next week, we're going to have Riverside River Cruises. They are a beautiful luxury brand. The week after that, we're going to have Celestial Cruises on here from Greece. It's going to be amazing. You might recognize, I don't know who exactly is coming on the show, but one person who might come on the show for Celestial, you've met before, but not with Celestial. He's been with another cruise line in the past, a good friend of ours. And then the following week, we will be actually on the Margaritaville Islander. We'll probably come live to you on Friday night that week instead of Thursday night. And then I'm working on getting more partners to come on over the next few months. I really want that Thursday night thing to build up. Of course, we are getting into the holidays. But I want to hit it real strong, in January and have a whole bunch of our travel partners. Because, we got to get some of our friends back, Royal Caribbean, Princess, Holland America, Oceana, Azamara. We got to get all of our friends back on the show, too, so we can be talking about them. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much, everybody. So I think I will just go ahead and wrap it up for now. We'll be back on Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, answering your questions. Thank you so much for celebrating with us. Wherever you are, let's just do one final toast. Thank you so much for 3 years. Thank you so very much for your support. And most of all, thank you so much for your friendship. I feel like so many of us have become friends now, and that, I think, is the best part about what we do. So wherever you are, folks, thanks for coming along on this journey, and cheers to everybody. Yay. All right. Now go have yourself a fabulous evening. And we'll see you Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. And my lovely wife will be back that time too. Good night, everybody.